My name's Will John, and all these speed videos out there are too complex. We're gonna make it simple for you today. You better be fast. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, people, here's the deal. Over all of the information that you're getting online, on speed, on everything else that you need in the game, it's a bit too complex now. There's way too much. We want to simplify this for you. Understanding speed is simple. Speed equals technique plus force plus elasticity plus your reaction time, all right? Now, technique is simple. If you run like a gangly monster, you are not being efficient. We need you to be efficient. Your technique needs to make sense. We have to make sure that everything is running and moving in the proper direction. Your force, also quite simple. If you are weak, if you get no force when your foot hits the ground, that is what is driving you forward. If there's no power, there's no speed. Elasticity, if you are stiff, if you can't move, if you've been lifting too much, if you can't really get this around, you're not doing any stretching after training, you're not gonna be able to be as efficient as possible. And the last one is a crazy take, my friends, but your reaction speed and your ability to understand and anticipate what's going to happen is going to make you look faster and actually be faster, because if you can think faster, you are faster. Now that we have an understanding of what creates speed, we have to understand our bodies and the muscle groups that are involved in actually making us faster. Number one being the glutes, the engine, my friends. I'm going to give you a simple understanding and exercise for that. You should all know the squat, whether it's a weighted squat or you are squats and squat jumps, which are incredible for speed. It's something that you cannot miss. Moving straight on to your quads and your hamstrings, all right? Those of you that are trying to build your hamstrings, we have to know the Nordic. The Nordic is going to do all sorts of things. Not only is it going to make you a faster player, because it's going to be extending that hamstring and also protecting your knees, all right? You can do the reverse Nordic, which is also going to build your quads. These muscle groups are things that you just cannot miss, all right? Isolating them is going to make you faster. If you don't understand that, you don't understand our method here. You call 1-800-Unisport, all right? Deal's going fast. Moving into our next group, we've got the calves and the ankles, of course, calf raises and your ankles. We don't want them stiff. We want them to be flexible. We want you guys to actually make sure that you're doing some form of a calf raise. It doesn't have to be weighted at all. Most of the gains and most of the things and the reasons that you're having trouble getting faster or getting better as a player have to do with consistency, all right? Always, as you can do 10 consistently, start to ramp that up. Do a little bit more and a little bit more. The forgotten muscle group, the hip flexor. You cannot ignore this. You need a band. Go find a band. No excuses. You guys know me, no excuses. Find a way to get this and find a way to work out your hip flexors. There are so many different ways, from you mimicking the sprint action to doing sidewalks, monster walks, moving backwards. All of these things are going to allow your hip flexors to build, and then putting all of this together is what is going to make you a faster player. And now we're going to talk about you actually executing. Pass me that ball. That counts as a crossbar. Now, with all that being said, you are not actually going to get faster unless you sprint. And there are ways for you to break down the sessions of sprinting. At the beginning, we're going to be talking about acceleration. That's stuff like your hill sprints, all right? Resisted sprints, right? Someone holding on to you in the back. If you have a parachute, that's great. If you don't, at least someone can hold on to you while you're trying to sprint forward, and then boom, they let go and you continue on with your sprint at full pace. All that is doing is training you to work at a greater resistance in order for when you are sprinting in the game, that you're flying. Most of you have probably heard of plyometrics, but what does that mean in execution? That means your broad jumps, your bounds. You have to do your single leg jumps. What that's gonna do is make you more flexible and fluid when you're actually going to sprint. And don't forget, my God, you have to do some sprint holds. These sorts of things seem easy. They look easy, but holding yourself in that motion for an extended period of time is going to train your body to have a bit of stability, and that's going to make you a much faster player. All in all, do not overcomplicate your journey in trying to get faster. There are a million exercises, but now that you understand what makes you faster, what muscle groups are involved in it, now you can take these exercises and simply do them for 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a month if you got that discipline, and you can actually make a difference. You will not see a difference if you do these once or twice and then forget about them. It's like anything else in life. You have to be consistent. Even when you feel at the beginning that you have some resistance against it, you gotta do this, all right? That's the vid. Leave us a like, comment, subscribe, check out everything from us here right down below in the description box. Unisport, playlists, and everything else we've got for you. That is the vid. 1-800, yes sir, crossbar. What? You see that crossbar right there? You guys like that? I'm gonna give a little kiss, because I've actually never, I've never missed. So this ought to be easy.